could I conform to putting my music on CDs and then carrying CDs around? Wow, I can't even
I
remember.
skipped the CDs thing completely. I never did it.
Oh, you
I
never did
waited.
CDs?
Yeah, yeah. No, I was still on turntables and vinyl until Serato, the first version of Serato came out.
Oh my
And
goodness,
that's
what?
when
You
I was
skipped the
like, I'm done, done.
CDs?
Yeah, yeah. I sold a lot of rare stuff, but I kept basic stuff to do gigs. But I wasn't really DJing that much then.
Mhm.
So I wasn't doing a lot of events and parties and stuff like that. It was more like, hey, I need somebody to do a wedding, or hey, can you fill in? I need like an hour over here or some spot. Like, do or early stuff for a club
Right.
or whatever. I was doing that.
Oh
So
my
like I wasn't. I
goodness.
had like 1 foot out and 1 foot in still, but like I completely skipped the CDs. I held on to vinyl until Serato came out with the first version, the Serato
Okay.
Scratch Live. But that's when I
Wow.
was like, okay, we're out.
Okay. So I remember my first uh CDJs or CD turntables I
Which one did you
bought.
buy?
The
Which
first
one did
ones,
you buy? Yeah.
dude, and this is why I like this specific company, right? The first CD turntables I bought were, wait for it,
Mhm,
the
mhm.
Denon's 3900s,
Okay, those are pretty good.
because they were excellent. And I used to,
Mhm.
I had them in different like cases, and I traveled with them. I did a lot of DJing with them, and I
Yeah.
had my CD like sort of like case, and
Mhm,
they were really solid. So I've known the Denon CD turntable technology since they started. The
mhm.
technology, the tech has always been there for Denon. Denon has always knew what
Yeah,
was
yeah.
going on. Like Pioneer just got to the
They're early
industry first.
adapters
They were early,
for a lot
right?
of stuff. Yeah, yeah.
But Denon knew what was going on. They said, you know what? We're going to make this, but we're going to make it consumer friendly. And so that's
Mhm.
what they did. And so, yeah, those 3900s, oh man, they were like a tank. And I also had the mixer I used was a Behringer 628 or a 626.
Okay.
And it was like,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
I mean, listen, I rocked out, man, with that joint. I mean, again, I would do my little art gallery parties, my little
Mhm.
lounges, everything else. And that was the first. But how I was buying music was, and you
Mhm.
said you didn't even sort of come to the you just skipped the whole CD thing. So what I was doing
Yeah,
was
I was still buying 12 inches and stuff still.
I was
Yeah.
still buying 12 inches, but I was burning a lot of, ripping a lot, not ripping, but burning a lot of CDs just so I can
Mhm.
play out, because I was like, hey, you know what? But I also had to bring my own equipment there. It wasn't
Yeah,
until
yeah.
I DJed at this spot in DC where they had CDJs, and then I was able to just bring my case of CDs, which was basically
Okay.
like, little like album sort of like book
Yeah, it's like
of
that
like
book.
CDs.
Y
Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I remember though, like I ripped um, two CDs of the same. So like having, two 12
Mhm.
inches that were the same. But in this case, I would have like 10 tracks per CD. And I would also make sure that they were WAV files, not MP. I wasn't really into MP3s yet. And
Yeah,
the digital download stores, they were basically selling WAV files,
yeah. Mhm.
Wow, so you skipped that whole thing. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
like
man.
oh my goodness. So you just kept rocking like the SL interface with your turntables.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Hmm.
I was basically still vinyl, and I
Still
was
doing
fighting it
vinyl. So
for a
you were
long time.
still like carrying crates of records?
Yeah, I was fighting it for a long
Oh.
time, but I was still. See, the thing is, though, I recognized this was the future. So while I was fighting it, I was still encoding all my records
Mhm.
and converting them into MP3s and trying to
Okay.
make them as high quality as possible.
Right,
And
right, right.
also, I was trying to go online and find anything that I had vinyl on. I tried to get the MP3 version of it during
Okay.
all this stuff was going down. So I was basically preparing for the future, but
Hmm.
still had my foot back in the past. So that was the issue there, because there was no, for me, I wasn't satisfied with the gear that I had to play the stuff on.
Right,
I
right,
didn't
right.
like the CDJs,
Mhm.
and I was like, well, the MP3s is a better system than the Wave thing is, but it
Mm.
just sounds like crap. So I was trying to get to the point where we get to it would be good enough. And so what I did was I have a wall, I still have it, of CDs that I encoded and recorded I burned the
Yeah.
CD on there
Yeah.
of the MP3s,
Mhm.
and then I had like the artwork on the side. I I was real anal about this. So I had the number on it. I
Mhm.
had the number on the side, so it would be a number and then the name of what it was, and I had all the albums and stuff like that, whatever's on there on the back of it. And then I had like an Excel sheet so I could figure out where things were. Because
Wow.
I was storing that for the future. I was thinking like this is gonna be the future. It's kind of
Mhm.
like they have that thing in, I think it's in Iceland or whatever, where they have all the seeds preparing for like some kind of disaster. That was my
Oh,
seed
right,
thing for the
right.
future. Yeah. I
Like
was
two
putting
of
all the
everything.
seeds for the future. Yeah.
Right. There was how I used to do it was I would again download and again back then we were doing wave files. Not a
Hmm.
lot of MP3s yet because we weren't quite sure which bit rate to play on big club systems. So if you all the
Hmm.
like sort of touring DJs and the festival DJs, they were like wave files, and they would put
Yeah, you had
one
to get wave.
and they would put one song on a CD. So even if the CD was like 700 megabytes, they would put a wave file, and it was just like,
Yeah.
wow, okay. When I did started doing MP3s, I would put
Hmm.
10 to 12 MP3s on a CD,
Hmm.
write the date that I purchased them, and then the genre. So, like 53120 deep house,
Hmm.
53020, like,
Yeah, yeah.
tropical house or something like that. And I sort of
Mhm.
had them like that, and you really, you really couldn't even figure out like there wasn't really any real software yet for to sort of mix and
Mhm.
key either. But we really like just you and I coming
I
up.
just knew. I just
Yeah,
knew this
we
song
it was
doesn't
just
go
like
together.
yeah, you listen to it, so it was like, oh, people are making like software for like mixing and key now. It's just like, oh, you just listen and you know what works
Yeah.
with what record, right?